Former presidential candidate of the African Democratic Congress, Dumebi Kachikwu, has alleged that this newly launched opposition coalition is a veiled plan to make former Vice President Atiku Abubakar his presidential flag-bearer for the 2027 general election. Speaking at a press conference in Abuja on Thursday, Kachikwu said the coalition is not genuinely aimed at rescuing Nigeria, but is being manipulated to serve the interest of a select political class. Kachikwu claimed that a faction of the ADC, now led by former Senate President David Mark, has hijacked the party structure and rebranded it to promote what he described as a northern political agenda. According to him, during private meetings, leaders of the coalition made clear their intention to take their power back, indicating that the movement's true purpose is to pave the way for Atiku's return to the ballot. He described the coalition as deceptive, stating, "The coalition was engineered and designed to produce Atiku Abubakar as the standard flag bearer. If not, I challenge them to declare that the ADC 2027 presidential ticket will go to the South." Kachikwu expressed concern that the same group of politicians who had dominated past administrations are now presenting themselves as agents of change under a new platform. The new coalition, which adopted ADC as its official platform, was launched on Wednesday at the Shehu Musa Yar'Adua Center in Abuja. It brought together top political figures including Atiku, Labour Party's Peter Obi, former governors Nasir El-Rufai and Rotimi Amechi, as well as other former office holders. The party's leadership, including National Chairman Ralph Wusu, had earlier resigned to make way for the new structure, with David Mark and Ralph Arebeshola named interim National Chairman and Secretary, respectively. Kachikwu warned that the coalition lacks ideological unity and is instead driven by personal ambition and political desperation. He argued that a coalition without a clear agenda and built around recycled politicians cannot bring the change Nigerians need. He urged citizens to be vigilant and not be swayed by political theatrics disguised as national salvation. I mean, what is your take on the position that Kachikwu has taken? And not forgetting that Kachikwu represents a faction of the ADC that is against this coalition with the party and from every indication intend to pursue this in court. What do you have to say?
You see, there is a saying that if the foundation be destroyed, what can the righteous do? Like I made mentioned earlier, ADC is a registered political party. ADC has its own constitution, the defined structure, how the structure emerges, who is fit to occupy those structures, the tenure of those structures, and how they can reel out candidates for the interest of the political party. If there is a takeover, or there should be a takeover, I think the recommended structure as recognized by the constitution of the ADC should have supposed to guide the actions and the takeover of the new wave of the ADC. Kachikwu is somehow right in the sense that I discover from his own part of the argument that the RAF that this current ADC of David Mark are saying that hand over the structure to them, according to the argument of the other side of the ADC, that the tenure of these people expire in 2022. So if your tenure expired in 2022, right, and maybe the ADC now find a way to run themselves up to the general elections, maybe through caretaker or through whatever means, as recognized or agreed by the ADC as a political party, then suddenly we now heard about takeover. You don't take over something that is not yours. That is forceful possession of another man's property. Reasonable people will question if truly you mean well. You are talking about justice. You are talking about right deeds. They were invading another man's property and forcefully taking over from them and pushing them away. This is the argument of that part. If you must take over the ADC, it must be through the recommended negotiation part that they will agree. But what we have now, we just saw a man. And I also find out one thing. I've not been able to confirm that the ADC constitution says before you can become a head of the party or hold any administrative position in the party, you must be in the party for 2 years.
Yes, it's 2 years.
For 2 years. How long has David Ma been in ADC? How long has Aregbe Shola been in ADC? In fact, David Ma just resigned his membership from the PDP this week. And he ascended to become the chairman of ADC. Is this not faulty ground? These are faulty foundations.
The question would be, with what convention did he emerge?
You undermine the constitution, the fulcrum of the party.
With what convention did they? Because last time I checked, what happened was ADC coalition unveiling, not a national convention. Now, Kachikwu, as a former presidential candidate of ADC, automatically is a member of the NEC.
Immediate.
And he represents a faction.
Presidential candidate of the party.
Exactly. And he represents a faction of the NEC that is saying that they are unaware of that coalition. They are not being carried along. Now, the NEC is the highest decision-making body
of the party.
Now, was the decision by Ralph Wusu, was it ratified by the NEC?
This is where Kachikwu is telling you.
Which means that this coalition, if taken to court, may have some hiccups along the way. But looking at the legality, now I'm looking at the legality of this marriage between these different persons and the ADC faction led by Okewo, because now it appears that the coalition merged with a faction of ADC, while the other faction, I don't know what to call them at this point. So how do you see this playing out in the coming days and months?
I'm just trying to be mid here, but I think I will roll up my sleeve now and maybe make mention of certain things. You see, I am not against a strong opposition because we need a strong opposition. It will help to checkmate the activities of the incumbent government. It will also help to shaping their policies, because through the criticism, wherever they are derailing, they will try to amend, which will be for the benefit of Nigerians, and also keep them on their toes, because they will not be challenged that it is a competition. If we don't do well, Nigerians might reject us. And the APC official want to do well. And as they are doing well, it's for the benefit of Nigerians and for the Nigerian state. So we need a strong opposition. But not a kind of opposition that is built on 14 foundations. That seemingly looks like a group of aggrieved politicians who are just seeking a means to vent their personal anger, and not really for the interest of the Nigerian populace or for the party they claim to represent. If you check the Atiku bloc that is negotiated or part of this coalition, the PDP, even the highest body of the PDP, I tell you, they are not aware, they are not part of it. They are not part of it. The National Working Committee, I tell you, they are not part of it. Even the governor elected on the platform of the PDP, they are rejecting. They are telling you they are not part of it. So Atiku is not representing the interests of the PDP in that coalition. Is he in the APC? Amechi is not representing the interests of the APC in that coalition, because no known elected member of the APC is part of that coalition. So which interest are you claiming to represent? We just talked about the one of Labour Party. So you can see that the coalition is actually a gathering of aggrieved, desperate politicians whose primary interest is not about the welfare and good of Nigeria. Because their manifesto as presented to Nigeria now is, we must remove Tinubu.
Yeah,
anti-Tinubu coalition.
Interestingly, that's practically the only thing they've been saying.
We must remove Tinubu. Anti-Tinubu coalition. This is the manifesto they have presented to us. So you can't tell us that after you sold this to us, then it is later you not tell us your manifesto. No, it will not be something I call a deception, political deception, because you've told us your interest. do you know a man? It is through the information in the subconscious of the man that will inform the character of the man.
But then Kachikwu is saying that there is a plot to hand over presidential ticket to Atiku Abubakar, that the coalition has another
That is where the coalition is actually, running to. The people engineering and pushing this coalition, who are they? How many Amechi men can you mention in that coalition? How many? How many Peter Obi men can you mention in that coalition? How many Rufai men can you mention in that coalition?
When you talk about Rufai, you can talk of Aregbesola. When you talk of Atiku, you talk of David Mark.
See, Aregbesola is not part of Rufai's team. Aregbesola is aggrieved on his own, but because he is not carried along by this current administration. And in Osun State, they are giving the APC in Osun, they are giving him hot blows that he's trying to survive politically. So he's trying to express his grievances, looking for the platform. So Aregbesola come with his own grievances to that coalition. But if you check the Atiku side, you will see his men everywhere.
So even
the likes of Dele Momodu,
even if
and the rest
primaries are to hold today, Atiku will take this way.
The main decision-making people around there who are actually the quality, they are Atiku's men. And Atiku is so desperate that he wants to, to cleanse the ticket. So I am seeing that the likes of the Amechi are unconsciously working as tools to achieve certain agenda. They are very unconscious of what they are even doing. The likes of the Obis, they are not conscious. How do we find a footing in certain area? So let us pretend to be that we are working for their interests, we are carrying everybody along. So we will use through them to have a footing, after which we can discard them. This is what they are using the likes of the Amechi, in my own view, to achieve. Come, coalition, after they gather the structure, then we find a way. How will an Amechi defeat a desperate Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, who have been running for the position of president since 1992? He has been nursing this ambition and trying to achieve it since 1992. A man that has invested so much in this race, then suddenly will just back out.
And that's the reason why he started engineering this coalition. You know, this coalition initially was started by Atiku Abubakar.
He advocated for the coalition.
Right.
He said we need to come together. Because we can't fight it individually. Let us come and see how we can remove Tinubu as a primary agenda. That is what they have for Nigeria.
With him as the presidential flag
That is what he wants to achieve. And they are not coming to tell Nigeria that Nigerians are angry now. The suffering is too much. Oh, we need to hijack, we need to take Nigeria back. And I begin to ask Nigerians, is the problem of that amnesia so heavy that we can't cure it? We just have people who will give us big wounds while crying that we are suffering from these wounds. Then maybe somebody will now come who is, who felt that this wound might actually kill us. So let us find a way to assist these people. The person may came with his first aid, trying to address the wound. And the person that created the wound will now come. This man is very wicked though. Look at the way he was dragging your leg. Don't you know that there is a wound here? He doesn't have conscience. He wants to kill you. If not, why will he be addressing the wound like that? Don't you know that you are feeling pain? And so the wound. I say, yes. The way he was even dragging my hand, then I'm suspecting the man is my problem. Oh, the man is an enemy. We must try to way to discard him. This is the way Nigerians think. Suddenly, the person that created the wound will become the angel. While the person that is trying to address the wound, oh, is the enemy. In fact, it caused the problem, it caused the wound. This is our mentality. The people that brought you to your knees have not shown any sign of repentance, and not becoming the angel who are not reminding you that you are suffering, that you can't bear it again, you are hungry.
They are telling you how you feel.
You need to eat. Are you not feeling the pain? The thing is biting your heart. Are you going to allow it? And Nigerians are failing to ask simple question. Oh God, this pain that I am feeling that is piercing my heart, according to you, how did it come? about?
Were you not part of the administration?
Who brought this pain? The hunger that you say I'm suffering. Who took away the food that I'm supposed to have eaten? Who took the food away? We don't ask this because somebody just told us something that suited our emotion. Yes, he is the person. They say, oh, subsidy removal brought hardship and the rest of it. Assuming the refineries were working and producing and new refineries were built, with the administration of Buhari come again, I'll be telling you about subsidy fraud. With the administration of Buhari tells you about non-performing refineries and non-functional refineries. With the administration budgeted $1.5 billion for turnaround maintenance and not building new refineries. That at the end, we didn't see anything working as the way that it was supposed to work. And later, remove subsidy. I refuse to budget money for the continuation of subsidy for PMS. Then the new administration of Tinubu have declared to Nigeria on the 29th of May 2023 that subsidy is gone. So what actually brought the pains? When we have so much debt to pay, where the money that was used on mints, money spent on mints alone, printing new money, was so huge to the extent that it threatened the well-being of a state. So how do we get here? Where are the farms that the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari inherited and he destroyed them? Where are the farms? Where are the roads? They were so motorable that by the inauguration of Bola Ahmed Tinubu as president of Nigeria, the road suddenly disappeared. Why are we here? Just like the question I asked at a time. Is Anambra State part of the Nigerians that are suffering? For many years, the poverty rate of Anambra rose from 41.4% to 53.something% under a man who is coming to salvage. Suddenly I realized. But when another man called Willie Obiano came, he invested money in vegetables. That in one of the years they declared profit of 5 billion naira just on vegetable alone. Then what happened? So assuming the previous administration before Willie Obiano also invested in agriculture, what would have happened to the IGR of that state? What would have happened to the standard of living of people of that state? But you didn't do, but suddenly you now realize that Nigeria needed to have had this thing. But it's just 2 years. Oh, it's too much. We can't endure anymore. But you were there at a unit level for 8 years. Then you are now part of the whole for another 8 years. So cumulatively 16 years, you couldn't give us one plant.
All right.
But suddenly 2 years. Oh, it's too long for that plant not to have germinated and begins to bear fruit. Nigerians, let us ask. I'm not opposed to any opposition. But who are those people coalescing as opposition? And what are they saying? What is the gospel?
All right.